Recording is on.
There we go. Okay, so welcome. If you somehow continue to stay through here, this is the Central Iowa Linux Users Group. And even though Linus Torvald grits his teeth every time I say it, sorry, the old car talk joke. The topic of the night is going beyond LaTeX to modern typesetting and other ways of handling text. And I will be your presenter tonight, Andy Denner, and somehow I did manage to forget to include the About Me slide, but basically I continue to be the president of the Central Iowa Linux Users Group. If anyone wants it, we'll fight in the parking lot. I'm a sissy and I run fast. You can have it. But anyway, in all seriousness, I am a scientific computing scientist by day and sling Linux and Python and all sorts of fun AI slop. And by night, I play with typesetting and do rather poorly at it, as you'll find out here. But the good news is maybe there are some easier ways to handle life than just fighting LaTeX. So we're going to talk a little bit of why does LaTeX feel old in 2026? Spoiler alert, it is. It's like 40 years old. The new world is Markdown. We can also just do some programmatic Python things if you really hate yourself. And also there now are new kids on the block that is like rusty stuff called typist. So LaTeX, it still is great. It still, if you need to talk math, LaTeX is your guy. Also, if you're going to present to some sort of journal somewhere, a lot of places still require you to submit in LaTeX, and plus anyone who looks at a LaTeX submission and a PDF rendered in LaTeX, yeah, you're going to know that it was LaTeX. Even if you try hard to make it not look like LaTeX, you have to wander pretty far off the beaten path to make it not look like LaTeX. And you have some very fine-grained typography controls, although really, if you're going into the fine-grained nitty-gritty of typography, why? It's LaTeX, let it do it. And it also has 30 plus years of cruft and ecosystem, so there probably is a template and a style sheet out there for the exact weird thing you want to do. And if not, give it a second, AI can slap you one together pretty fast. It is basically, again, like I said, if you're an academic journal sort of person, you're doing really, really weird, complex, multi-columnar stuff. If you already have a template that works, don't sweat it, just use what works. Or if you're an absolute sadist who loves just trying to figure out what the hell broke when you hit tab the wrong way and forget to close a bracket, yeah, this one's for you. Where is its biggest problems? Number one, compilation time sucks. It takes forever to compile stuff in LaTeX, especially if you're iterating, tweaking something, re-rendering, et cetera, you're talking about seconds rather than milliseconds, which I want it now and I want it forever. It's also just a big pile of turtles all the way down of nested macros, and good luck figuring out what exactly you did wrong. There are LaTeX files that I just give up, declare bankruptcy, and start over. It's the easier route. Also, really, you can't do native code execution in it. You kind of have to render your stuff into like images or PDFs and then include those in for, like, say, if you're looking for cool graphs and stuff like that. There are ways of doing it, but yeah, that's the easy option I found is just PDF or render stuff to PostScript and let it figure it out from there. It also is massive. 3 gigs probably doesn't even include it. I'm thinking it's closer to 5 gigs image size if you want to install all the LaTeX. And Git diffs are sure. I mean, it's text technically, but good luck figuring out what you changed. And it's also just dark art to read your LaTeX file and figure out what's happening, especially if you're doing anything halfway complicated. So there are good reasons to not want to use it. And plus, there are just easier routes to go about it. Rather than trying to render your tech file using PDF LaTeX, you can just run pandoc and tell it that you want to run the typist PDF engine, and it will just spin you up a real thing here. So let's just take a look at using a pandoc document here. And I'm going to need to make this slightly bigger for those in the back. Well, let me open the file first and then, okay, so just let's look at our basic pandoc file. This is just a completely made up hunk of stuff here. And let's make it a little bit bigger again. Sorry, I promised I was going to do that. Well, if I can hold down the right thing here. I'm guessing wrong here. There we go. Let's get rid of chat. I did horrible things. There we go. So yeah, if you look, it's just really plain Jane markdown with a little bit of YAML up top to set up your title, author, etc. And then when it's time to get to it here, let's just CD, stop complaining about I need to update. I know I need to update. I'll get to it eventually here. And I totally CD'd out of it. Let's go ahead and CD to, and I will share out these slides after the meeting here, as well as the temp files here. But let's go into 01 basics. And let's just make a pandoc, and the file you want is docmd, and let's do, I need to get back to my slide deck, sorry here, my notes are not. So we want PDF engine typist. I spelled it right, TYPST, and then -O for, let it run for a second, and there you go. And let's open up that file and see what it looks like here. And it opened on the wrong screen, but if we go to open. As you can see, you get a very nice professional with math looking code, and you have
The math part is nice.
all the things, and you don't have to worry about LaTeX, and you get basically all the benefits of LaTeX. So your math-based stuff here, if you scroll down, you can see you can do inline math or display math.
Clever.
And it's, I believe that's using the LaTeX math format. So if you've bothered learning how to do that sort of stuff, yeah, a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, it also renders code, and it looks really nice. You can also say you don't want to do PDF. You want to send somebody a Word document instead. You can do, let's see. Sorry here. You can do deformat. Okay, this is a point where we demonstrate that we can do man. And it will tell us how to switch that out. But yeah, all of the information here, and basically Pandoc is sort of the universal translator that it can translate and handle everything. PDF, that's what I was just showing. It uses LaTeX by default, but here's all the different formats you can output. Okay, it's just docx. That's what I was looking for.
Right.
And you need to say -O. Apparently it's,
Doesn't like something?
oh, it just straight up dumped it to, so I think if we just do something goofy like this,
You might also need the parameters in a different order.
yeah, because Word is definitely not liking it.
Word not liking it might be because Word typically uses
Zip file.
and UTF-LE. UTF-16 LE versus UTF-8.
Convert to,
Of course. Microsoft everything, which is really great when you're trying to grab something on WSL.
anyway, we'll come back to this. I was going off notes here to try and show this, but the good news is we do have, and if you want to use the original LaTeX world -O, here we can look and see the difference here. And you're not seeing it because it opened on the other. As you can see, the difference between using the difference between using using typist versus using LaTeX. LaTeX looks like LaTeX because it just goes with the default all the things. But of important note here, if you look at the show inspector, you can actually see that it will have, I believe it's under one of these, it will actually show you that it has, you can include other metadata as well, like here's your title, ends up making it into there as a title. If you had a subject, it would be there, etc. But you can see it's using PDF text. So that's how you can be one of those great people that look smart when you give your notes out because you rendered them in LaTeX and you didn't actually, you just wrote them in Markdown. So the next thing that we can look at here, if we just pop back in here, is some more complicated versions of Markdown, you can use templates. So you can actually set like primary colors, and you're using, of course, the D document of LaTeX, but you can also use various other ones as well. And that's how you can style your LaTeX out, or your documents out. So and I'm in the wrong folder. So let's just do. And as you can see, my attempts at rendering this worked great. There's no title. There is a title there. And let's go for doc.md-d. Okay, it says it rendered. Let's see, did it actually show up? Because of course my demos always work great. Okay, yeah, it did render it as a LaTeX file. And it looks reasonable and looks cool. So then we could, in theory, if we wanted to be cool, and LaTeX of and apparently it's definitely did not create a valid LaTeX file.
Looks like you're in an interpreter.
Yep. Yeah, it totally munged it up. But anyway, though, in theory, you can do that. This is what I get for not sacrificing enough to the demo gods. But the good news is, by going elbow deep into Pandoc, you can do everything from translating PDF to Markdown, to Word documents to Markdown, all the things. But in the interest of time here, since we are rapidly blasting through, there are other things that you can do, like you can set up command programming and links and scripts and all sorts of that sort of stuff to actually run in your. So here you go. If we go ahead and just run this here, let's CD to 03. Actually, I was in, which, like I said, I will send these out afterwards because there are only so many hours into PDF engine. Must be WSTY, and I can't type and look at PST. Here we go, and this time I know it worked because it didn't blow up in my face. And here you can see that you can set up these config files that basically will give you word counts. So it will tell you that there are 144 words here, and in theory, this should have been a hyperlink if it had rendered properly, but So yeah, the Lua scripts are very, very nice for being able to improve that. We've wandered way off the beaten path though. So a little bit of markdown, again, like I was saying, you can run it in your CI/CD. Anything can understand it, and even if you want to publish your stuff as a book, you can totally just dump it out to EPUB, like all the cool kids do. Or if you have that recruiter that's really, really yelling at you that, why are you sending me PDF files instead of Word documents?
Because they want to edit them.
Yeah, if you have to make them happy, you totally can. And so how do you install it? If you're not running Mac like me, apt install Pandoc, and that will get you everything that you need. If you want to live on the edge, you can go out to github.com and download it, but it's totally possible just to set it up inside of a CI script or a makefile, and it's great because if you are using AI, you can totally, it's basically Markdown is its native language almost, and it can understand all the things. And yet you can still make it look nice for your boss when you hand him your LaTeX PDF document. So you can, we've already sort of shown this, but your markdown commands, basically if you want to make a table, it's really easy. And your scripts here, and then Wheezy Print we'll talk about here in a bit, but you can, that should have worked. I'm gonna try that one last time here. So if we CD here to the demo and CD report, should be able to then just do ls here and copy paste did not play nice with me. Thank you.
No, it did not.
Word document or PDF for. Okay.
That spaces.
Yep. Wow.
It's good.
That's killing me. That's what I get for copying and pasting. Okay, and as you see there, that actually did run. And if I go to open it in Word, will it open? That is the $1 million question here. Report and contains fields that, yes, go ahead and. Wow, you're right. That did get really clippy really fast. Damn it, Microsoft. Shows you how often I open up Word. Damn it, Clippy. Okay, so anyway, though, as you can see, you end up with a really nicely looking Word document here. And if we look at what we actually had before we went to render it, sorry, here, flipping over to the demo folder, to report, to Pandoc, to report.markdown. Here you can see there's really not a lot of really fancy stuff going on here, but your table is just simple table stuff. And so it's really easy to get a markdown or a PDF or even a PPTX. However, I have no idea what a report's going to look like in, wow, it actually did an amazing job at that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you'll have to add.
I feel like I'm back at work.
Yeah, you'll have to add some styling to it, but that actually worked far better than I expected it to. So, yeah, the difference between that and that is just what format it output in. I'm loving Pandoc more and more every day here. But yeah, so anyway, though, as you can see, really that's the one that I am the biggest fan of, just for simplicity's sake. Let's flip back here. Quattro, and I have no idea if I'm saying this right, but it is based off of Pandoc, but it's basically if you took Pandoc and taught it how to do programming as well. So you've got basically just pip install it, and you can output HTML, slides, etc. And it does handle typist as well, and it can even do a live preview. So if we demo out using that same report here, I have a version of it that is in, if I can spell, and if we go, actually here, let's just open it so everyone can see what it looks like here. If I choose the right thing. Really the big change here is that you can actually put Python and use matplotlib and all those things. So let's just looking at my build, basically I just need to do Quattro QA R P O to PDF. As you can see, it's doing, it runs a little slower because you're actually doing some weird stuff there of rendering your stuff into LaTeX a couple times here. So if we look at what it actually ends up looking like, there's your report, complete with, and we totally bled off the edge, but you get the idea. And yeah, so what you can do is Quattro Preview will give you a sneak peek of what you're doing. So if instead of render, we do preview, and get rid of that to PDF. We'll actually render it as a live HTML document for you. And then I believe this is actually live, so if we go ahead and edit, let's just go like that and hit save.
Yep, there it goes.
As you can see, it's working on it. And if we scroll back up to the top, there you can see it live edits. So other than the fact that you have a little delay as it runs because it's doing heavy lifting, it actually is really kind of cool about that. So let's go ahead and
Panda, nice.
Kill them?
So you could pull up a site by site if you wanted.
Yeah.
Just use it WYSIWYG. Okay. Or not, I guess it wouldn't technically be WYSIWYG, but it'd be,
It would be busy MIG. What you see is what you mean. Or, yeah, however you'd say that.
yeah, it'd be a two-pane, yeah.
Yep.
There's a term for that, but I'm drawing a blank on it.
What you mean is what you get.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's some more examples of how to render it. Quartro is another great one that, yeah, we've already done that. Cork Down basically takes that same idea, but it goes a step further into the fact that your Markdown is now a Turing complete language with variables, loops, conditionals, all in Markdown. This is one of those things where it is a very powerful and very obnoxiously, I don't want my Markdown to be this clever, but it is an option if you want to do really, really cool stuff. There is a VS Code extension that you can install, but it is also Java based in its running, so it is also very unholy, and yeah, it's evil.
Java, you say?
Yes, it actually will render in using Java, but so basically you can say, hey, I have a doc type of article, I want it to be in English, here's my paper, say hello, CIA log, and there's some math. So again, looking at our report example here, since that seems to be our favorite go-to here, we can go to Cork Down. As you can see, you can program in all sorts of little things, and it's very powerful to typeset your stuff, but it is very obnoxious. So Cork Down, let's see. Okay, so we CD to back out. And let's go ahead. Quark, I can't spell QARK, down C. So yeah, as you can see, it does end up working, but it like stands up its own server and sends there's a lot there, and it just feels like a lot. But as you can see, we do end up, if I go to the right page, and I've got some problems on this one. I didn't really work all that hard at getting this one to work because I hate Java. So in theory, this is how you'd go about it, but I'd recommend not using this one just because I fight Java on a good day. I don't want to be fighting Markdown and Java. But yeah, wondering deeper into if you want to program stuff and you want to do all the programming and none of the Markdown, there are two different options. Report Lab, I've seen a lot, like Claude Copilot or Claude Coworker and stuff like that will use this sort of language to generate its Word documents and stuff like that it will send you. And it makes it look really, really good, but it's also kind of psychopathic while it generates it. So, but you can totally, if you want to programmatically render stuff, you totally can. So why would we want to? First, with WheezyPrint, say you have hundreds of invoices you want to send out. You can programmatically render them, print them, stuff them in the mail, or email them, stay entirely in Python and not pull them from your database and do all that without having to worry about rendering intermediary files, essentially. So you can do all of that. It's really quite easy. There is a prerequisite when you install WheezyPrint. You also need to have the libpango to make it play nice. You can get around templating with Jinja typing and do all sorts of HTML-y sort of things, and it looks nice. But yeah, it looks like a Jinja template, basically. It's real easy. Looking here at the time, I can show you the end output of it here. And like I said, I'll share the other documents here with it. This is WheezyPrint. So pulling up the report.pdf, since we've been playing nice, honestly, I think it almost looks better than LaTeX for just modernness. But all of these, you also can render everything else that you could even think of rather than a report. We could be looking at resumes instead. So if we wanted to look at a Wheezy resume, which sounds like you should have some drugs there. As you can see, it ends up looking really quite nice. And what does it look like programmatically on the program side of it? If we wanted to look at that, just to show you that I'm not cheating, report, resume, Wheezy, looking at the resume, as you can see, it's just a Jinja type template. And you're saying, hey, take this HTML, make me a PDF, and go. So whatever voodoo magic you chuck into it for HTML, long as you're not doing freaky JavaScript or anything like that, you'll be fine. CSS is allowed, but of course, all of this, just like any good CSS, your mileage will vary and you're gonna fight it.
Can I ask a really dumb question?
Yes,
How did you get the PDF engine
typed.
Yeah, because when you were rendering with Pandoc with types, right? You've got
Yes.
the Pandoc, DAC, TAC, PDF engine equals types. How? Because whenever I try it, it says PDF engine must be one of these. And it gives me like 9 different options, and none of them are types, even with types installed.
It just worked for me.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was like something I was missing that.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
No, I installed types. I installed all the things, and it just worked.
Okay, so it's not like with Perl where there's some, oh no, you can't use libperl 3, you have to use libperl-pam-7-perl lib.
Yeah, types. I just
Okay.
used Brew and installed it.
I will try it on
So the
something that
trigger
is
can be
not.
buried in the,
Yeah,
I would try it on a different distro or maybe just a version that's not a
But-
year away from end of support and see if it works better.
tonight I'll give it another try just on a couple other machines just to make sure, because I haven't used the types engine very often, but I'm liking how fast it is.
Yeah, well, and that was the big thing that sold me when you put up the screenshot of the times. I'm like, because I keep my resume in Markdown, like that's how I store it, so that credits are easy and trackable and all that. So
But yeah, so anyway, though, Report Lab is it's 100% Python. You have a canvas and then the platypus which is a cute thing for paragraphs, tables, frames, and flowables. And you can do charts, barcodes, all the things, and totally load in pandas, all of the, it is basically, if the other one felt clunky because you're doing a lot of HTML crap, it actually takes care of all of that problem for you. So if you look, it is very much programmatic, and you're setting up your headers, and as you can tell, it very much is, if it looks like an AI wrote it, it's because that's the bread and butter that it can handle. And yeah, totally, I didn't write this resume. So looking at what it looks like, you'll see that it looks even better than the Wheezy. Ooh, never mind. The last thing I did to fix it, yeah, it totally munged it. That's what I get for trying to tweak a couple things before yeah. So, yeah, you will fight it. But if you are going to do data-driven, high-volume stuff, this is totally where you want to be living. Let's switch over to something other than a resume, because yeah, that totally didn't render well. Report lab. Looking at our report again, there we go. Everything's looking pretty again. But yeah, Python programmatic, all the things. It was the 2 columns that ended up burning me there, because 2 columns are hard. And then types, since we were just talking about that. Oh, yeah, how did you install types?
Sudo snap install types.
There's your problem. I remember now how I got it to work. I built it from Rust. I'm willing to bet your snap, you're actually in a jail, so it isn't visible to anything outside of the internal snap.
It's in its own isolated little world. You said sudo apt or sudo snap?
Sudo snap. I did sudo apt, and it's like, no exists, try this one.
Yep.
So I tried that one, and
Yeah.
so interestingly, it does give me a different problem on 26.04 versus 22.04.
Oh,
So on 26.04, I actually get error output that says error producing PDF, and a little arrow that points to a colon, or not a colon, a closing parenthesis, and a line that shows comp. So it looks like there's a comp block somewhere that it is not happy with, but that very well could be a snappy issue.
yeah, but yeah, so long story short, how I installed this was I actually did a brew install of Rust, because, I mean, who doesn't need Rust on your machine? And then did a cargo install of types-CLI. And it's fast building. It's a simple scripty sort of LaTeX-esque language without being nearly as LaTeX-y as LaTeX itself, if that makes sense. It's easier to show than it is to tell. So looking at our resume here, as you can see, it's still sort of that LaTeX-esque world that we live in, but it's not nearly as open and closed brackets and counting all that junk. So, I mean, it's a little easier to write. I don't know that I could just sit down and quick pound it out, but the good news is we don't have to. We have Pandoc to do all that for us. But so then to look at what does it actually look at like, going to our command line to render it here, and I lost my mouse, there we go. Your commands here to get to it, cd back. And so if we do typest and compile hit return, it runs, and as you can see, it's nice and fast. And opening up a report, typest.
Okay, you have to specify a font.
Oh, that's your problem. Okay, but yeah, as you can see, fast, easy, it looks good, and you can rapidly iterate on it because it doesn't take very long to render.
This is so much better.
Well, I've helped at least one person
It's
today.
so much better. As someone that has been using Pandoc with like 30 different switches to try and get the formatting to not completely suck, and the only switch I had to provide to this was the font.
But looking at our example resume, as you can see, it looks professional. So, really, what is it good at? LaTeX great at math. Pandex less good at math. But yeah, so as you can see, there's good points and on all of them. Some of them less good than others. Like I'm looking at UQuark down. I hate that with a fiery passion. Just trying to get any of this to work was a pain. But yeah, so basically I'd recommend using Pandoc as much as possible, and then figuring out where you're going to go from there, and typest all the things. So yeah, basically 90% of your LaTeX stuff you don't need to do today anymore unless you're a sadist. Pandoc, all the things. And if you have to use Python to do programmatic things, I'd use WheezyPrint over ReportLab, but ReportLab's very powerful. And yeah, typest is the future. Use it for all your things. I've got some links I'll share out. And then any questions, comments, snide remarks. If I can get my screen with people on it, I hope I didn't crash out or anything. Let's see. Oh, nope, there are still people here. Awesome. So yeah, if anyone has any thoughts or comments or complaints or etc. Or if people just want to come off of mute and say something. Oh.
I've now learning the fight, the good fight.
Something.
Okay, good. The speaker does actually work. Awesome. Got worried that maybe something had crashed and someone had been trying to make snide remarks the whole while and just hadn't been able to. But so the good news is, yeah, it worked. So any documenting sort of stuff that I missed, I mean, really, about the only thing I didn't cover was if you're one of those crazy folks that just use like Jupyter Notebook and then save your Jupyter file to GitHub or one of those and just let that be your documentation. I've seen a lot of that, especially for projects. It's really easy to show how to use your Python package if you just hand them a Jupyter notebook, basically. And you'll see all the stuff rendered, and it's just kind of magical. Anyone else? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and hit stop and then go to the unplugged part of.
That was right there.
There we go.
Stop recording. There we go.